Good morning. Good morning on another sunny morning in Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I'll be for 3 more days, and then I'm off to Bali. So today, I knew what I wanted to talk about. It came to me in the middle of the night. I woke up and was doing some what I call heart breathing, where I breathe into my heart center and hold it and then release and then breathe and release. And I knew I wanted to talk about fear or love. And so I'm gonna do that. I did pull a card and we'll see how that ties in after. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you here. And so I'm going to just tune in and catch the thread of this message for today. So in every moment we have a choice of how we want to feel. And it comes from there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum of feelings from fear to love. Now, a lot of people would think that the opposite of love is hate, but it's not. The opposite of love is fear. And we are basically on if we think about our emotions and our feelings and we imagine like a line or a scale, on one end, on the very far end of the, we'd say, negative or unresourceful emotions would be fear. And all the way on the other end is love. Not romantic love, but love as what we would say a frequency. Love as in the connection you feel when you feel connected with the divine, with God, with source energy. The love that sees through the illusion of our separation to the unity of all that we are all children of the divine, and we are all one and loved by and with the divine. So we have this spectrum from fear to love. And when we operate from the place of fear, hi Mom, it's good to see you here. Hi Holly. When we operate from the place of fear, life is very difficult. Fear may sometimes feel like we have no choice, the fear, the worry, the anxiety. But the truth is that how do I say this in a way that makes sense? The truth is that it is possible for us to move ourselves consciously out of fear. How do we do that? By recognizing that fear is an emotional state and it's not a definitive reality. How do we do that? By recognizing that we are all children of the divine and that in eternity, beyond our current physical circumstances, we are loved by God, Goddess, the divine, and we are that love. We are created in love, and we are here to extend that love. So, fear brings up the energies of survival. So, and when we go into survival mode, we know biochemically in our brains do different things. And one of the things it does is it shuts off the energies of growth, like literally chemically in your body stops growing. It stops doing the things it needs to do to take care of you because it has to go in emergency mode. And it sees everything else as a threat. So it's easier to be pissed off by what people do. It's easier to see them as separate. It's easier to judge them. It's easier to hate them. It's easier to be in all of those other energies that are unresourceful. Because when your brain goes into that survival mode, triggered by the emotions of fear, everything else is potential enemy and danger. And so all you're going to do is take care of yourself and the immediate, those you need to take care of, children, loved ones, partner, spouse, etc. And so fear has value. We were designed with fear so we could run away from tigers, for example. But when we start fearing illusion, then we have a problem because we start seeing everyone else as a potential danger, everyone else as a potential enemy. And worse than that, we start running that frequency in our body. And that frequency emanates, first of all, what it does, as I said, biochemically, and you can research this, I'm not inventing this. Biochemically, it sets off a host of chemicals in the body that become toxic over time. But energetically, it emits that frequency of fear, which makes it harder for us to receive love, harder for us to connect with others, harder for us to have compassion for those who are suffering, because everything looks like danger. And so then we add on top of that a diet of mainstream media, a diet of entertainment that's full of violence, that is designed to trigger those fight or flight and those chemicals in our bodies that are in fear and anger and anxiousness and excitement. And then we have news, which only shows things to fuss and worry about and have anxiety about and wring our hands over. And what we have are entire nations running fear frequency. It's a wonder that we get by at all. But we do age rather quickly, don't we? Because we run so much fear chemistry in our bodies so much of the time. And so this is where prayer, where meditation, oh my goodness, meditation, and where bringing attention and intention to what we're choosing to think about and act on sometimes a moment-to-moment basis. This is where these things are so important, because we literally have a choice of whether to buy into fear or to choose love. But when we are so conditioned to be in fear, it's very hard to understand that it is a choice, because there's so many things out there to fuss and worry about. But when we tune into this moment now, is the tiger at our throats? You know, is the danger at our doors? For some people on the planet, yes, that is true. But for many of us, no, it's not. In this moment now, there is no actual danger to be fearful of. And so we have to choose a different frequency. We have to choose a different emotion. And it takes discipline, because the brain gets biochemically conditioned to be in the habit of fear. So it takes discipline. It takes regular, systematic intention to shift that and to return to the frequencies of love and to recognize with awareness, wow, I'm all of a sudden like really afraid of things that aren't real. They're just like in my mind illusions that I might have to worry about in the future. But in this now moment, they're not real. So how about if I take a breath and say a prayer and ask for help from the divine to return to a love frequency? How about if I take a breath and make a choice to think about all the things I appreciate about my life right now, so that I can shift my energy into one of love? How about if I take a breath and go into a meditative state and become aware of all the things worth being grateful for in this now moment? And if we look at the outside world and we look at the media, particularly in the politics on our planet, there is an awful lot to potentially be worried about. And there's an awful lot of hate mongering and alienation and judging of other peoples that would keep us separate. And the more we feed that, the more we get of that in our personal lives, in our communities, in our nations. So we have to choose. We have to become response-able by choosing something else, by saying, no, you know what? When I look in that way, I'm not looking through the eyes of the divine. I'm looking through the eyes of fear, hate, and alienation, and that serves nothing and no one, and that's not the world I want for my children, my grandchildren, or my grandchildren's children. So I'm going to make a choice here. I'm going to turn off the voice of hate. I'm going to turn off the hate box, which is the TV. I'm going to turn off the politicians who want to keep me in fear. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to connect with my higher guidance, with the divine, with God, Goddess, with the inner wisdom, with love. And I'm going to reactivate the frequency of love. And I'm going to remember that I am born of and created for love. And I am going to reclaim my sovereign right to choose my thoughts and to choose my feelings and to choose love. And in the process, you'll fall down and those feelings of fear or hate or alienation will come up. The fear of scarcity, the fear of not enoughness, the fear of other people judging us, other people's hateful words against us or whatever. Yeah, they'll come up. We're in the human condition that's really been very nurtured over the last couple of decades almost now, particularly, to be in a lot of fear and hate. So it's an imperfect activity, but I feel it's a worthwhile one. And those that I know who are consciously, intentionally activating the frequency of love on a day-to-day basis in their life, however imperfectly, are beginning to live lives of purpose and freedom and meaning, are beginning to provide more love in their lives and receive more love and support for creating the new. So let me just tune in here. We are living in what would seem to be precarious times because we are living on the cusp of a new age. And if we look outside ourselves to those who would tell us the world is going to a hell in a handbasket, we could very easily maintain the frequency of hate and fear and alienation every single day. But what's outside of the vision of the mainstream world is an entirely new world that is being created everywhere on the planet, and I mean everywhere. In the most unlikely places, people are awakening and remembering who they really are as children of the divine. People are creating new models for how to live on the planet that are ecologically sound, that are emotionally sound, that are caring for their neighbors and friends, that are caring for themselves, that are reconnecting with the eternal nature of their being. This is really happening. And as soon as you open up to it and start looking for it, you'll find it. It's easy with the World Wide Web. So I promise you it's there. We are rebuilding the world based in love before the old world even crumbles. So when you look outside and you see fear and you're worried about the dangers out there, just trust and know that there is a deeper thing going on and you can find it. We are here and we are lifting as we rise. And we are holding the space of love and we are emanating the frequency of love for all of our brothers and sisters on this planet. And we want you to join us too. Not with a religious dogma, not with some kind of separation belief that you have to believe are certain beliefs, but in the remembrance that we are all one in the divine and that everywhere on the planet all hearts and hands are needed to uplift us out of fear and move us toward love in all kinds of creative ways. So whether you're an artist, a musician, a mom, a dad, a dancer, a singer, someone who wants to change the structures of society, an internet hacker, a priestess, a military person, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you're being called to do in service to love and to light, there's room for you here and we're waiting for you. We're here to lift as we rise. So, I'll show you the card now. We just had this one the other day, and it's called Awareness. And you can see there's a person who is hidden, the shadow of a person behind a veil of illusion. And that veil of illusion is fear. And then, when that person breaks through with the blue flame of divine, the Buddha mind shows up. The mind of awareness, the mind that sees beyond the veils of illusion and can move from that place. Move from the place of awareness, recognizing the truth of our eternal nature, that we are created in love and we are here to extend love. and to surrender the illusion of fear and separation and build this new world before the old even crumbles. I send you bright blessings in love.